A new kind of storm, preparing for unpredictable weather. The wind picked up suddenly, howling through the trees and sending loose debris swirling through the air. Lydia tightened the rope securing the storm shutters, her fingers numb despite the summer heat. This new kind of storm was unlike anything she'd ever experienced, fierce, unpredictable, and capable of changing direction in an instant. "Lydia, hurry up!" her younger brother Jake shouted from the doorway, his voice barely audible over the gusts. "Dad says the storm's coming in faster than they thought." Lydia glanced at the darkening sky, a mass of churning clouds moving in from the west. She could feel the pressure drop, a sensation that always made her ears pop and her skin tingle. "I'm coming, Jake, just a few more knots." The storm shutters were crucial. Without them, the windows would shatter, and the driving rain would flood their home. Finished with the last rope, Lydia ran inside, slamming the door against the wind. The house was a flurry of activity. Her father, Mark, was securing the doors, while her mother, Rachel, gathered emergency supplies. "Everyone to the basement," Mark ordered, his voice steady but urgent. "We need to get below ground before the worst of it hits." Lydia grabbed Jake's hand, and together they followed their parents down the narrow staircase into the basement. The room was dimly lit by emergency lanterns casting flickering shadows on the walls. Shelves lined with canned goods, water bottles, and other supplies surrounded them, a testament to their preparedness. "All right," Mark said, checking his watch. "We have about 10 minutes before the eye hits. Everyone knows the drill." Lydia and Jake nodded. They'd practiced this routine countless times, but the real thing was always more terrifying. Lydia could hear the wind growing louder, a relentless roar that seemed to shake the very foundation of their home. Rachel turned on the radio, tuning it to the emergency broadcast station. A stern voice crackled through the static. "This is an emergency alert. The storm front is now classified as Category 5. All residents are advised to seek shelter immediately. Expect high winds, heavy rainfall, and potential tornadoes." Lydia felt a knot of fear tighten in her stomach. Category 5, the highest and most dangerous. She took a deep breath, trying to calm herself. They were as ready as they could be. The basement was reinforced, their supplies were ample, and they had each other. Suddenly the lights flickered and went out, plunging them into darkness. The emergency lanterns provided some light, but the oppressive blackness of the storm pressed in on all sides. The wind outside screamed like a living creature, and Lydia could hear debris striking the house, a relentless barrage of nature's fury. Mark checked the radio again, adjusting the volume. "The storm's intensifying. Everyone, stay close." Lydia huddled with her family, the noise outside growing louder. The walls seemed to vibrate, and she could hear the distant sound of glass breaking. She squeezed Jake's hand tighter, feeling his small, trembling fingers clinging to hers. "Remember," Mark said, his voice calm and steady. "We stay together and wait it out. This will pass." The next hour felt like an eternity. The storm raged above them, a cacophony of wind, rain, and thunder. Lydia closed her eyes, trying to block out the fear. She focused on the warmth of her family beside her, their presence a comforting anchor in the chaos. Finally, after what seemed like hours, the noise began to subside. The wind's howling lessened, and the pounding rain slowed to a steady drizzle. Mark checked his watch and then the radio. "The worst of it's over, but let's stay put for a bit longer, just to be safe." Lydia nodded, relief washing over her. The danger had passed, but the aftermath would be another challenge. They waited another 30 minutes, listening to the radio for updates and checking their supplies. When Mark finally gave the all-clear, they ascended the stairs cautiously. The house was a mess. Broken glass, overturned furniture, and debris littered the floor. The storm shutters had held, but the windows behind them were shattered. Lydia surveyed the damage, her heart sinking. It would take weeks to repair everything, but they were safe, and that was what mattered. Outside, the landscape was transformed. Trees were uprooted, and power lines were down. The street looked like a war zone, with debris scattered everywhere. Neighbours emerged from their homes, their faces pale and drawn but alive. Rachel put a hand on Lydia's shoulder. "We'll get through this," she said, her voice filled with quiet determination. "We always do." Lydia nodded, looking at the sky. The storm clouds were breaking up, revealing patches of blue. The sun would shine again, and they would rebuild, just as they always had. This new kind of storm was fierce and unpredictable, but so were they. Together, they would face whatever came next. As the family began to clean up and help their neighbours, Lydia felt a renewed sense of hope. The weather might be unpredictable, but their resilience and unity were constants. In a world where storms could strike without warning, they had learned to be prepared and to cherish each other, knowing that together they could weather any storm.